Before we begin properly, I would like to tell us a little bit about Organda Foundation, the foundation bringing you this training every Friday. We are an NGO based here in Nigeria, so our scope of influence is majorly Nigeria. So we do widow empowerment, we do poverty alleviation, we do give scholarships, not just to individual students, but to entire schools. We do free health programs, we do community development, we do skill acquisition programs like this particular one. And the skill acquisition program is actually every Friday. So every Friday we bring in professionals from different fields to tell us more about, tell us to impact skills in us, I guess. All right, so today we're going to be having Mr. Clinton Inene. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope I am. And today's course will be brand building, 4 key pillars of brand building. So I want to welcome everybody to today's session. And Mr. Clinton, if you just go ahead. I think we have enough people. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the nice introduction, Stanley. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's nice for me to be here with you guys. First of all, let me say thank you to that owner of Masterclass, that Oga Dionga Foundation, for this opportunity to host this to you guys. I hope you guys can hear me. If
Yes,
you all can hear me, please.
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
So, okay, thank you for confirming. So, let me start by saying thank you to Oga and the other foundation for the opportunity to facilitate this session, and also thank you guys joining me. Like Stan, I'm a clean and and most people call me Mena. I'm a market and he's currently working with Dick International now. So I'll be talking to you guys about brand building, and branding is not. So a lot of the time, people assume having a logo, having a website, having a social media page, or a tagline means they have a brand already, or they're building a brand. Though these elements are very important to the branding process and brand building process, this is not what branding or brand building totally entails. Branding is more or less like it's supposed to be an idea, an ideology that conveys meaning to your target audience. So, for example, you're creating a product. What is that emotional attachment you want customers or consumers to feel when they see your product? What is that feeling? What is that value you want to offer to your customers? That in itself should be what defines your branding. And every other thing, your logo, your website, your color palette, your brand tagline should fall along this ideology that you want to communicate with your product or services. So branding is something that, and branding is not something that your marketing team alone should handle, or whole organization, right from the sales, from sales to marketing to administration, even to the front desk personnel, those that interface with your customers. They should understand your brand, what it stands for. So branding is not just for your branding manager or marketing personnel to understand. It should cover everyone in your organization. And that says, let me define, go into definition of what branding is. So um, there's actually no one definition for branding. Uh, so there's no one definition for branding that covers the whole essence of brand building. But many people think branding is all about communicating on exposing your brand or exposing your product or exposing your services to people. It's actually an aspect of branding, but that is not what branding is. So the best way to define branding is it's a process of creating value for your customers, value that is relevant to them, value that will bring in later on bring in income to your business. So, and branding encompasses what your customers know, what your consumers should know about your brand, what they should feel, and what they should experience when they come in contact with your product or your services. And like I previously said, that should also include your employees, include your product, include your services, or your product or service, your work process. How do you go about building your product? How do you go about offering your services? These are things, even your packaging and your business location, these are things that your branding should cover. You should think about. So if I'm going to create a water business, for example, where am I? My branding, my process of brand building should cover the location I'm going to be producing the water, the type of packaging for the water, those that would interface between my target customer, my target market, and my business. So that will include my staff, train them to understand the nitty-gritty of my brand, what my brand stands for, and how and where the customers stand, or where the customers, the value we place on customers. That way, there'll be no there'll be a clear picture of what your brand should mean, the kind of experience that customers would get when they interface with your brand and whoever is and all stakeholders relevant in your company, as your staff and every other person. I don't know if you guys are getting me.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. So I would like this to be more interactive, where it's almost because I'm talking to a system, it almost seems it seems detached, or rather, I feel detached from the class. So once in a while, I would like to be getting feedback from you guys from the chat. So in case, so that I know that this is a two-way communication, not just me speaking to a system. So that said, there are three popular types of brands. You have the service brand, you have the retail brand, and you have the product brand. So the service brands are built on knowledge and experience. when you think of brands like this, McKinsey comes to mind, Bloomberg comes to mind. So these are brands that deal in these are brands that deal in services, that deals in the transference of knowledge, culture, and experience that are important to businesses or even to customers. So we have the retail brands. So these are brands that are a mixture of both products and services, and then they offer experiences. You're going, you're going to the cinema, for example. You're going to the shopping mall, KFC, and fast food joints. They offer a service and a service experience that the ambience of the room where you're having your lunch or your dinner, and also the food as a physical or tangible product that they offer to you. And and that would lead me to the third one, which is a product brand. And these are built on experiences that one derives from specific products. So these are tangibles or intangibles. We have brands like Nike, Kicks, Innocent, Toyota comes to mind. These are product brands that offer experiences that are tied to products. So let me go to why does your brand need or why do you need branding? So there are several reasons why your business needs branding, and I itemized 5 of them. If you can see them on the slide, one is to help you build and increase your awareness. So the first thing the branding does for you is it provides an avenue for consumers to know you. So the millions of businesses, or rather many businesses that are, except if you created a new market, then you're the only one existing. But if you're entering a market where there are different brands, what your branding does for you is it separates you from the others, and then makes it easier for you to sell yourself. So if I'm creating a water business, like I earlier mentioned, what I name my water business Mena's Water. What that does for me is, with Mena Water, I'm able to direct focus of people to the name Mena Water, not just water. Because if you remove Mena Water, I'm just a water brand, and there are several water brands. So the awareness, I wouldn't get that awareness that I need to sell my product. So with the branding and a name, a tagline, with an experience and an ideology tied around my brand, it is easier for people to conversate about Mena Water. It is easier for me as a owner of the business to sell myself. And then it makes you recognizable and trustworthy. So it's easy for someone to pick me out in a shopping mall. In a shopping mall where different waters are lined up, a customer can pick me out of the lot and say, this is what I want. And most people, it also builds trust in my brand. There's a name to it. It's not just a blank label. I'm sure a lot of you, if you go into a shopping mall and you see 2 brands or 2 bottles of water, one is labeled and the other isn't labeled, you will likely go for the labeled one because you trust that this brand, the labeled bottle is safe for drinking, unlike the unlabeled. So that's what branding does for you. It builds customers' trust and confidence in what you're offering. And it also helps in building loyalty. Once people trust you, they tend to trust you more. That way, they can patronize you a second time, a third time, and continuously. Building a brand makes it easier for you to gain the loyalty of your customers because there is an ideology they believe in, and they believe it makes it easier for them to buy into the idea of your brand. And that way they can become advocates for your brand. Because once customers trust you, trust what you offer, then they can advocate and bring more people on board. And the first one is employees are happy and satisfied. Nobody wants to work with an unknown brand. What employment does, one of the benefits of being employed is esteem, self-esteem. So nobody wants to work for an unknown brand. You don't want to get into a conversation with someone asking, where do you work? And then you are filibustering or obfuscating, not able to say that, oh, this is where I work. But building a brand will make it easier for your employees, improve your employees' esteem, and it's easier for them to identify where they're working, to even to strangers. And that way, it also helps you because your employees are one of the stakeholders that will sell your brand. And also, it gives them job satisfaction. And building a brand is also good for your competition. So I'm just a lot of people see the competition as always the enemy, but I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. The competition actually the competition is good for you in the sense that being with if you see the competition as a method as a if you see the competition as what's the word now? The competition is supposed to propel your innovativeness as a business. So if you see the competition, you should see the competition in a positive light, in the sense that having a brand, what having a brand does, and then they become worthy competitors that also push you to offer better products and services for your customers. In the sense that when you have a brand, you do a great brand and ensure that your competition are catching up, are always on the catch up, not you falling or lagging behind. So what having a brand does for you is it puts you on your toes and also ensures that your competition also puts you on your toes. So that said, let's go to the 4 keys of branding, so of brand building, which is the main discussion for this session. So the 4 key pillars of branding these pillars are key to the measuring of the impact of your brand building process. They give direction as to where to tweak your branding and also give a sense of direction as to what to focus on when you want to start the process of brand building. And these are 1, differentiation, 2, relevance, 3, esteem, and 4, recognition. So one after the other, I'm going to touch on the 4 pillars and also give you like a combination of differences and differentiation and relevance, what it can offer you. So first, let me tell you what differentiation is. So differentiation is the soul of your brand. It's the core and it's the core of your brand's unique meaning, the source of momentum that sets you apart from your competition. So I'm sure a lot of you that are into business have heard of unique selling proposition. That's a USP of your brand, of your business. So differentiation, differentiation also epitomizes your USP. What is unique about your business that makes it different from every other brand? What do you offer that other businesses don't offer? That even if other businesses offer same product with you, but what you use in differentiation, you're differentiating yourself from others in the clutter. So that way, a customer sees you. It can either be a tangible or an intangible property. So it could be an idea, it could be an experience. For example, iPhone, Samsung, they are both mobile phones, but iPhone sells an emotional, or rather, they're more of an emotional brand selling the idea of creativity. So once you see that selling a feeling, so if you see someone holding an iPhone, a feeling and social class. So we see someone holding an iPhone, the first thing you think of is this is a creative person. This is a very wealthy person. This is someone who has money. Same, uh, someone holding a Techno or an Android or any other Android is also holding a mobile phone. But Apple has been able to differentiate itself from every other phone companies by selling an idea, which is being different. Having an Apple or an iPhone or any other Apple product sets you apart from others. And that is the idea. So as a business, that is what you should be doing. So to position your brand, you must differentiate yourself by offering a unique promise. That's a unique selling proposition, as I earlier to customers, and ensuring that you use your brand promise. And just differentiating your brand doesn't ensure longevity. You must be relevant. So relevance draws on how well your brand fits into people's life. So it's not about idea to people. How does your idea, your product, your service fits into people's life? You can't go to a place, for example, um, the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle is full of ice. You cannot go to the Arctic Circle and want to start an ice business because ice is not relevant. Ice is in is in large quantity and free for them over there. They can see you see they work on ice. So you going to a place like that to sell ice is not the ice. Even if you have the best branding, you have the best advertising, your product is not relevant to them. So as a business, you must strive for relevance. How the better fit your brand is into people's life. Uh, Sorry about that. Someone was coming. Sorry for distraction. Okay, so anyway, so the better fit your brand is into people's life is strongly linked to your life, to your market size penetration. So, um, the combination of relevance and the differentiation determines the strength of your brand and its capacity to grow. So if you have a good differentiation for your brand and your brand fits perfectly into the life of your consumer, it's a good, it makes it easier for you to sell your brand because the product is good. Uh, it simply means your consumers need it, and your communication is meeting them directly at their relevant touch points. So that way, you have no problem with sales. So what you just have to do is put the product into the market and it sells itself. So it means that for a brand with strong relevance and differentiation, it can maintain premium pricing regardless of the category you are. And this can also lead to huge profit margin for you. And in a saturated or commoditized category, relevance and differentiation also ensures that consumers see value in what you're offering in comparison to any other person. So, for example, look at the telecommunication sector. It's a highly commoditized and saturated market, but MTN has been able to, or most of let me not speak to specific brand now. Most of these brands have been able to stand out by by consistently creating products and services that are relevant to customers. So MTN understands that MTN has the package for WhatsApp, has a package for YouTube, has a package for midnight browsing. So that way they are able to they create these products or service packages that are relevant to the consumer, and they are able to increase their profit margin. So relevance is key in product building. If your product is not relevant to your TA, to your target audience, it will not sell. So let's go to the fourth one, which is esteem. The third, esteem. So esteem measures how well regarded your brand is in terms of reputation, respect, consideration by consumers. High esteem translates into strong loyalty that avails you consumer forgiveness when you err or you go wrong. So a brand with high esteem is built up over time. So esteem is not uh, something that just when you start your brand, you start your business, you start getting the esteem from either because you have a great brand design or you in a good location, or even though those might count in the esteem building process. What esteem, how you gain esteem by being consistent in your promise delivery. So your brand promise, your promise to your consumer is to always deliver innovative products or services. So as a business, the onus is on you to continuously keep uh, creating innovative products and services over a long period of time. So within probably in your fifth year, you made a product that probably didn't meet the need or meet the quality of your previous products. Because your consumers have experienced previous 4 years of top-notch creativity and innovative products or services, they are more likely to forgive the flaws of your fifth year. So that's what esteem does for you. And you build that by being consistent in your promise delivery, in your brand promise over time. So, let me skip this and go to recognition. So what's recognition? So recognition or knowledge is a level of familiarity consumers possess about your brand. So how well do people know how well do your consumers or customers, how well do consumers know your people, your processes, your products, and your services? This also indicates the level of intimacy that consumers share with your brand. So if your brand is lined up or your product is lined up with other products and services in the same category, will your consumers be able to pick you out of the lot? If they are not, then there's something faulty with your branding. So as a brand, what you should aim for is being able is for your consumers to be able to pick you out of the multitude when the need comes, when the need for your kind of product or service comes. So as a brand, good esteem and recognition indicates that you are a very customer-centric business. So that means your sole focus is on the customer, and that should be what every business should be all about. Focus on the customer, focus on the consumer. So from your product building to your communication process, communication channels, communication messages, everything should be tied around the consumer. So your consumer should be the sole determining factor of all actions and plans that you have for your business. And good esteem and your brand recognition, indicative experience, which is also pertinent to you delivering your brand promise, because this a good esteem and good brand recognition, they build up your brand stature, that your brand stature in the market, and also gives you a sense of performance, how your brand is also performing in the market. And it also gives you brand emotional capital. So brand emotional capital is, so what it means is, once you get to that level where people are tied to your brand, you are able to evoke people's emotion, and once you're able to evoke that, you can then utilize those emotions to achieve either brand or business target or social target. So for example, a brand like Tom's the shoe that was reigning in the early 2010s, was able to capitalize on their brand emotional capital by having their customers donate to donate shoes to students in third world countries. So you've had campaigns done by Durex also, Durex funding education of girls in South Africa. So when you get to that level where your brand has good esteem and good recognition, it accumulates brand capital for you that you can then utilize to achieve business or social goals. So now that you've learned the key pillars of brand building, so how do you go about building a brand? So there's 6 steps to building a brand. One is defining your target audience. So one, defining your target audience. That includes identifying your target. So there's something we call the term, the target, define your target market. So in that your target market, you define, also select your addressable market, and also select your obtainable market. So your obtainable market should be what you really focus on. What if the 12 million people in Nigeria that need bottled water? So what, how many of these 12 million can my business, can I reach out to based on my investments, that the funds I have to start the business, my location, and also based on also product fit to my, does my the class of people my product fits into. So the obtainable market, I say, okay, I want to reach people in Lekki area of Lagos. Uh, uh, and there are, so probably people living in Lekki are 500K, 500,000. So I identify what are the basic qualities, the psychographic qualities of these people. What are they concerned about? What area of their lifestyle? How does my product fit into their lifestyle in the Lekki area? So having a basic understanding of these things then helps shape my uh, my brand, and also helps me in how I can meet their needs. So if I'm able to determine and then understand my target market, then I can now define my brand mission. So what do I want to achieve with this brand? What's the mission statement? So the aim is to provide clean, potable water to all households in Lekki. So uh, how am I going to? So if this is a mission, the vision for the business, then the next thing is getting major stakeholders to buy into it, getting my customers, getting internal stakeholders to buy into it. That's my employees. So spreading the message across each channel of engagement within my company, selling the idea to get customer buying, to get my employees and the internal stakeholders buying is the next thing. So if I'm able to achieve that, I've already set a good foundation for my business that can be built on and then be easier for us to attract external or external stakeholders with our customers. So then let me go to the fourth step, which is researching competition. If I have an idea of my brand mission and vision and already set out, I'm going to sell this idea to my internal stakeholders, then I have to research on my competition. What are my competition currently doing? What what are they currently doing? What are they not doing? And how can I capitalize on this to differentiate myself and also use this to convince consumers to buy into the idea of my brand? Then the fourth step is creating a value proposition. So if I understand all these things, if I know my target market already, what they care about, I know their needs, I know the vision that I have for my business and how my employees are going to, how the role my employees are going to play or internal stakeholders are going to play in this brand. I understand my competition already. I I know what they are doing and what they are not doing, and also understand how I could convince my customers to move away from my competition to me. Then I can put all these things into a unique, valuable, and beneficial proposition to my customers. After creating this proposition or this value that I aim to sell to my customer, the next thing is to determine the brand guidelines. this includes my visual element, that's your logo, your color palette, your brand tone, also your brand strategy. So brand strategy entails your communication channels, your communication message, and also your approach to communication. So your brand guideline also is how your customer it cuts across from your logo down to how your staff attend to calls. So how do you want, what experience, the holistic experience you want to give to your to consumers? It's in this stage you then begin to mold it with the three elements I mentioned: your brand tone, your visual elements, and then your strategy. And the sixth step is marketing it. So you put all these things together. You just like I say, you can't light a candle and put it under a bushel. If you lit your brand candle, the next best thing to do is put it out there for your customers. So how do you make it out from the crowd? How do you integrate your brand into every aspect of your business? How do you then, if you're able to do this, then the most pertinent question is, how do you stay true to your brand? So if you've been able to communicate the brand to your customers, you've been able to align, integrate both your brand ideology, your brand vision across board, horizontally, vertically, internally and externally. The next thing is, how do you maintain this and stay true to your brand promise? Because without consistency, brand building is irrelevant. Brand building is a waste of time. So consistency is key to your brand building process. How do you remain consistent in your visual elements, in your brand tone, and also in your strategy? So, and you can remain, you can be you can achieve consistency by creating processes that are easy to understand by your internal by your employees. Processes that your employees can easily understand, that without you, they can the brand can function in your absence and can deliver on the brand promise that is consistent to what you've agreed initially with your consumers. I believe that I have been able to give you a little bit about brand building and also explain the brand building process for you. So I'd like to say thank you very much for listening. Also, apologies for pacing out sometime in the presentation. I'm around here, so it's kind of distracting. So if you have any question and regarding the presentation, please, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you for taking our time to take us today. If you're just coming in, we've been listening to Anna, and he has been taking us on brand building. If you're just coming here, welcome. Mr. Clinton, I would like to and by the way, if you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section or just raise your hand so you can see. So Mr. Clinton, we all know how branding is important, and branding is basically the core of every business. So as a new startup, right? Let's say you just started a business.
Yeah.
Just starting, you've not done any sort of marketing, you not employed staff, nothing at all. If you're just starting up, what is the first step to take when it comes to branding? What should you do first? Like the very, very first thing you should. People that are thinking of starting a business, what do they have to do or start putting in place in order to win in the branding of their business?
So, okay. So I think the first thing to do as a business is understanding your consumers. So if you want to start a brand, a business, I think the first thing you should do is to understand your customers, because no business exists without customers. So if you understand your customers, you understand those, like your target audience, then you are able to create a brand that seamlessly aligns with the needs and desire of people. So you don't want to create a brand that at the end of the day, there are no off-takers. There's no one buying your product, or there's no one buying into the idea you're selling. It makes no sense. So who do you want to sell your brand to? To people. So the first thing you should do is understand them. So as a business, your first goal or your first step towards brand building, or your first step when you want to start a business, is having a clear or having a deep and broad understanding of your consumers. I don't know if that was able to answer your question.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much. And another thing, we've been talking about business branding for a while, and I would like to know, you can build a brand as a person, yes, personal brand.
Yes.
So for somebody that is into a service business and she provides the service herself, possible to build a personal brand. So for those of us who have our own businesses, who are the face of our personal brands, what would you suggest for us to do in order to boost our brand, so to speak? Does social media come in at some point, or are there some strategies that you would like to tell us about when it comes to personal branding, not branding now?
Okay, so if I got your question correctly, is how can a person offering a service, should he or she dichotomize from itself or the business, and then what other ways can you use social media to boost your brand? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay, so as a personal brand, so if your intent as a person is to offer services to people, at the start, if you're not going to employ others, then you can start with building yourself as a building your personal brand by creating value. So the key thing to branding, either personal or business, is value. Value which makes you relevant to people. So if you create value to value the people can buy into and are willing to pay money for, that that way it makes it easier for you to stay relevant. So you can consistency in your messaging as a person, consistency in your communication on social media makes it, and then putting yourself out there, visibility for yourself makes it easier for people to buy into you, the idea you're selling as a person. And as if you're able to achieve build a good brand for yourself as a person, it's easier for you then to build on it, to build a business brand on it. For example, Ogbeni Dipo Ogbeni on Twitter, who's also on LinkedIn. He was able to build himself as a personal brand, offering educational and professional advice to people for free on social media. He was consistently doing this over time. Then from there, he was able to build a business on it, which is the BDT Hub. So the BDT Hub was an offshoot of his personal brand. So as a person building a personal brand starts with identifying what is lacking in the market you're trying to address. If you identify that, how do you as a person fit into that pool that you've identified? How do you fit into it? How is it relevant? Are you able to offer a solution that is relevant to the people in that market? If you're able to package yourself as a solution bringer, even sometimes people don't even know that there is a loophole in the market they are in, or in the service in that particular industry. They don't notice. So if you notice it as a person, point it out to them and being able to sell your solution to them is a key to being relevant, as a key to building your personal brand, and also which you can now build your business brand on it. For social media, is a platform that has democratized, was set as a platform to offer visibility to people. So as a personal brand, capitalizing on is a no-brainer. It's where you should be on. And how do you use social media? It's by creating value, being relevant. And relevance doesn't mean tweeting or writing controversial statements. Of course, controversial, there are quick ways of selling yourself, but offering value over staying relevant over time. Or if you're looking for longevity, what you should be looking for is addressing problems, addressing people's problems. You're able to address people by offering solutions. Over time, you become the go-to person on social media for particular problems or for particular solutions either instead. And that way, you are able to build your relevance and also build your personal brand that you cannot capitalize on to create a business. I don't know if I was able to answer your question.
Yes. So basically what you're saying is, in order to build a personal brand, you have to first of all provide value to your proposed audience, provide value. So whenever those people are thinking of
that's true. You have to provide,
be the go-to person that
provide solutions.
Okay, so now bearing that in mind, I have somebody here who wants to go into the fitness niche. So she's here, and I know she would like to hear this from you. So she wants to go into the fitness niche, and she's thinking of how to, like what you just said about providing value and sharing content. What sort of content, what sort of value can somebody give out when it comes to fitness industry? It's about fitness and it's a personal brand, and she wants to push fitness. I call it service now. So how does she start?
Okay. So if it's for fitness, for example, there's a trend or there's a move towards healthy living. So fitness and healthy living, they go together. So as a person who wants to break into the fitness and healthy living segment, the first thing, a lot of people have issues with consistency when they buy into a fitness or a fitness routine or a healthy lifestyle. You as an individual, if you are able to, for example, let me use myself as an example. So I'm registered to a fitness, or rather to a gym, but I hardly have the time, or rather, not that I hardly have the time, but I most times make an excuse for myself not to go to the gym. If I can get someone on social media who I follow who gives me tips on how I can nudge myself from the bed, to get up from the bed and go to the gym, or someone who I can exercise with on Instagram Live every morning when I am at the gym, or someone who can suggest uh, healthy foods and drinks for me on social media. That way, I'm able to buy into the person's. It's easier for me as a person to buy into the person's personal brand and um, buy into the idea they're selling, and also makes it easier for the person to break into that industry, because once you are offering, that is already solving my problem. It's solving my problem by offering me healthy living products, healthy living diet, and also uh, nudging me to exercise in the morning. So I don't know if I've been able to answer your question.
Yes. So before, when you were talking about I forgot what you were talking about, you said something about Apple and how they've managed to position themselves in the market. So bearing that in mind, how does price affect value perception? Because we know for Apple, they sell their products really, really high, and then some other brands sell.
Sorry, I caught you. Sorry. Okay. So what I wanted to say, I wanted to add, so from the lady who wants to break into everything, is understanding the problems that our target audience have and being the solution to that problem. So for your question about Apple, so the reason why Apple is able to sell for premium is because they've been able to they built up on emotional capital. So as a brand that sells feelings, sell feelings, sell esteem. So there was something that it is software something capitalizes emotional aspect of branding. So when you're buying Apple, you're not just buying a tangible product. You're buying somewhere when I was talking about that esteem, the combination of esteem and recognition, which makes sorry, when I was talking about the combination of relevance and differentiation, which makes it easier for you to charge premium. So once you're able to create a product that is relevant to your totally different in terms of ideology and also physical properties, you are able to charge a premium on it. So Apple has been able to do that. They've been able to differentiate themselves from other brands, and also been able to stay relevant in the market. So that why I sell for a higher price in comparison to other other smartphones. Um, so um, so if I don't know if I was able to answer your question. So with that, I think it's already 12:02, and I am quite. Uh, I also have another appointment for 12. So I don't know if I think I will drop my email. So for those that have any other questions, you can reach me via my email. Uh, I hope I'll be able to answer your questions. And also, if you're interested, I also have a newsletter community that I recently started. So, sorry, I sent so I've sent my email in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can reach me there. And sorry, I won't be able to. My attention is already being needed. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope I was able to teach you guys a little bit about brand building. And also thank you, Ogad Indioga, for having me.
Thank you so
And
much.
guys have a great day.
To speak to us. Thank you so much. If you're just joining us now,
Okay.
hearing from Mr. Clinton, and you'll be taking us on brand building. And okay. So he just dropped his email in the chat section. If you want to reach out to him to ask any questions, you can